Allahu Akbar.
Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salli wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammadin wa ala alihi ashabihi ajma'in. Wa man tabi'ahum bi ihsan ila yawm ad-din, amma ba'd. So this hadith is narrated by Abdullah an Abi al-Abbas, Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhu, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Kuntu khalfa Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam." Right? So he said, I was behind the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, do you guys know all Abdullah? Do you all know Abdullah ibn Abbas? You're gonna have to time me on this, okay? I have a very bad habit of going over time.
Sure.
So, does everybody know Abdullah ibn Abbas? One person said yes. Two.
Yes.
Okay, who's Abdullah ibn Abbas? He's not yes. Who's Abdullah ibn Abbas? Come on, what is he? Yes, excellent. Son of Abbas, good. Somebody's awake. Come on, guys, you got to help me out. You're making my talk too long. What's unique about him? Good. He's one of the scholars of Islam. Yes, the Prophet ﷺ made dua for him. Anything else? Sorry? He's the cousin of Prophet ﷺ. Good. Any else? How old was he when the Prophet ﷺ died? No, when did the Prophet die? How old was Abdullah? I should be clear. The answer is correct. The Prophet ﷺ died at 63. But what I meant to ask was, how old was Abdullah ibn Abbas when the Prophet ﷺ had died? Close, very close actually. Anywhere between 13 to 15. Okay. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this is because I want you to understand that the Prophet ﷺ gave this advice to a person who usually we consider a teenager. What, 10th grader, 9th grader this time? 15 years old? 9th grade? Okay. And he gave him this hadith. And really, there's so many lessons for it, but it's just going to give perspective of how the Prophet ﷺ, actually, it's kind of interesting. It goes also for this hadith, nasiha to everybody. Okay, advice to everybody. So, Abdullah ibn Abbas, he was sitting behind the Prophet ﷺ. He said, "Kuntu khalfa an-nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam." Another narration, "Kuntu radifa an-nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam." And he said, "Ya ghulam, inni u'allimuka kalimat." Right? Oh, young man, I'm going to teach you a few words. So one thing he did was he grabbed his attention first. And he said, I'm going to teach you a few words. احفظ الله يحفظك. احفظ الله تجده تجاهك. إذا سألت فاسأل الله وإذا استعنت فاستعن بالله. واعلم أن الأمة لو اجتمعت على أن ينفعوك بشيء لم يكتبه الله لك لم ينفعوك إلا بشيء قد كتبه الله لك وإذا اجتمعوا وإن اجتمعوا على أن يضروك بشيء لم يضروك إلا بشيء قد كتب الله عليك رفعت الأقلام وجفت الصحف. In another narration, there's a few other additions. احفظ الله تجده أمامك تعرف إلى الله يعرفك في الرخاء واعلم تعرف الله في الرخاء يعرفك في الشدة واعلم أن ما أخطأك لم يكن ليصيبك وما أصابك لم يكن ليخطئك واعلم أن النصر مع الصبر وأن الفرج مع الكبر وأنها مع العسر يسر. So I'm going to translate all this, and I only have 20 minutes to do this. No, 15 now, right?
You have a little more.
A little more, okay, good. So the first part of the hadith, the first advice that the Prophet ﷺ gave this, and you're going to have to tell me which part is the interpersonal skills, by the way, okay? He asked the Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet ﷺ told him, he said, احفظ الله يحفظك. What does ihfad mean in Arabic? Memorize, right? So he says, memorize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Does this sound right? Something's off, right? What does ihfad mean? Come on. It's true. Do you know why they call memorize ihfad? Because you're right. It's like keep, or you're protecting what the information in your head. So ihfad actually means what? To protect. All right, now we have another problem. It says, ihfadillah, protect Allah. Does that make sense? All right, so what does it mean then? I'm going to make you jump. I'm going to tell you I'm going to do jumping jacks, okay? Come on, guys. Yes. Protect his teachings. Excellent, right? Which means it's a bit more than that, but that's included. So ihfadillah, yahfad, it means ihfad hududahu, right? Protect the boundaries of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hududahu, right? So it has to do with quite a few other things. So it means احفظ حدوده وحقوقه وأوامره. So to obey his boundaries that he has placed, to protect the orders that he ordered us with, the obligations, and to protect and not fall into the prohibitions. So this is what it means to protect. It means protect the boundaries, the rights of Allah. It means protect the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The return of it is احفظ الله يحفظك. He will protect you. Okay? How? Come on, guys. How? Protect your money? Yes. Why not? Come on. Protect your kids? Protect your iman? Excellent. And it encompasses all that. Protection comes in two aspects. Your worldly things and the things in the hereafter. We all want everything to be protected. Is that right? Your health, your wealth, your children, your business, your iman, your hereafter. Right? Your worldly things and things of the hereafter. And the most important aspect of it is, of course, is your iman. You guys all agree? Good. So if we want the protection of Allah, it means that we have to protect the rights of Allah. Now this is a relationship with Allah. Generally relationships can divide them into two categories. Relationship with the Creator and the creation with relationship with the Creator and the relationship with the creation. So this is the relationship with the Creator. You guard His boundaries. Okay. Obligations. Name an obligation. 5 times 8. Good. Excellent. One of the major things. Anything else? Sorry? Worship Allah. That's in the prayers. Good. So we got that over. Zakah. Excellent. 5 pillars. Anything else? What? No manners involved? Come on, guys. What happened to obeying parents? Actually, I shouldn't say obeying. Being dutiful to parents. Isn't that part of it? Yes, you agree? Not insulting others. Is that part of it? What, does that sound familiar? Isn't that interpersonal skills? So part of protecting and guarding the rights of Allah is guarding also the rights of the creation. Because we're ordered to. That's your interpersonal skills. You don't insult others. You don't behave badly towards others. You're honest towards others. You give them the nasiha. That's the other hadith we're talking about, the one before me. You give them the right of the nasiha that they deserve. So that is part encompassed in guarding the rights of Allah Ta'ala. If you do so, Allah will protect you in the worldly things, your affairs, and in the hereafter. And of course, the best of protection is your protection in iman. Because if you lose this iman, you lose this world and the hereafter. You guys all agree? Is that right? So which means that if we really want Allah to protect us, we should not leave this room until we have a strong resolve that we're going to obey everything Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered us to perform. Refrain from every single prohibition. Everybody agrees? Yes? Good. Excellent. All right, so that's the first part. It says, احفظ الله يحفظ. And then, احفظ الله تجده تجاهك. Protect the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will find Him in front of you. And another narration, أمامك, which is in front of you. تجاهك, أمامك, same thing. Now, all that means is that if you guard the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, protect the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, guard His rights, He will be with you, ahead of you, guiding you, supporting you. And we all need the support of Allah. Is that right? Okay, good. Now the other narration comes in, which is kind of beautiful. It says, "Ta'arraf ila Allah fi ar-rakha ya'rafka fi shidda." It means get to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your time of ease. He will know you in your time of difficulty and hardship. Is that right? Alhamdulillah, we have a pretty, the majority of us, relatively speaking, to other people, populations in the world, we do have a relatively, alhamdulillah, a beautiful life, a calm life, tranquil life. And it's the most important time that we remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in it. Because there will be always a time when we need Allah. We have to put forth something. And this, by the way, is not something that is strange. It has mentioned, 2 stories in the Quran. Okay, just top of my head. If you compare Yunus alayhi salam to Fir'aun. You guys all know who Yunus is, alayhi salam? Yes? Good. And Fir'aun. What happened to Yunus, alayhi salam? Swallowed by the fish. And then what happened? Astaghfirullah, good. Astaghfirullah, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rescued him. But the verse I'm talking about over here is kind of interesting. So the verse says, فَلَوْلَا أَنْ كَانَ مِنَ الْمُسَبِّحِينَ. If it wasn't that he was from the musabbihin before, if it wasn't that, لَلَبِثَ فِي بَطْنِهِ إِلَى يَوْمِ يُبْعَثُونَ. He would have remained in the stomach of that fish until the day of judgment. He got to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his time of ease. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helped him in the time of difficulty. All right, let's say Fir'aun. What happened to Fir'aun in the end? He drowned. But what did he say before that? Sorry? Good, it's too late. But when he said, Amantu, I believed in the Lord of Bani Israel. But what was the response? Al-an, now, you're doing it now? Too late, right? There was nothing before that. You don't have an account beforehand. So if you want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help you in your time of difficulty, you have to get to know Him first. Now, one interesting thing about this hadith is, if you notice, it is almost what you do, you get rewarded of the same kind. You protect the boundaries of Allah, the rights of Allah, He will protect you. Get to know Him in your time of ease, He will know your time of difficulty. And then the Prophet ﷺ instructed Abdullah ibn Abbas, he said, إِذَا سَأَلْتَ فَاسْأَلِ اللَّهِ وَإِذَا اسْتَعَنْتَ فَاسْتَعِنْ بِاللَّهِ. If you ask, then ask of whom? Allah. And if you seek help, seek it from Allah. Now this is from the Fatiha, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. Because really asking Allah is a form of worship. It's ibadah. It also has a beautiful component of tawakkul. Is that right? You guys agree? Tawakkul, depending on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Only you we ask. We don't need to ask anyone else. You guys agree? How many of us want their friends to keep asking them about things? You guys are not too kind, are you? Come on. No generosity in this place? Actually, nobody does. Nobody wants people to ask them all the time. Is that right? Yes? But Allah does, doesn't He? Does Allah want you to ask Him all the time? Yes. وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. Another verse, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ عَنْ عِبَادَتِي. Right? Those who are arrogant from asking me. Is that right? So here's the question. Now I'm going to take an interpersonal skill from this one. Because if you only ask Allah and don't ask others, isn't that good interpersonal skills that you don't bother people? That you're always on a good terms with them? Because you're best of friends if you keep asking them. The minute they see you on the street, what are they going to do? Oh, I didn't see him, right? Yeah, ignore you. Thank you. Somebody said it. Thank you. Ignore you, right? Pretend they didn't see. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you, right? I didn't see you coming. Of course, this is a lie. We shouldn't be doing that. But this is what happens. So this is interpersonal skills that you can take from that. That you only depend on Allah. You only ask Allah. If you ever need anything, you only depend on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But also this means, this is, it's kind of interesting. It's the definition of La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. We all say this, right? But what does it mean? La hawla, which means you're not going to change your state of affair from one state to another, except by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's strength and aid and support. إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. We seek your help and support in doing all these things. All right, now the last part of the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, وَعْلَمْ, and know that if the entire ummah collectively came together to benefit you with something, they would never benefit you with anything except that Allah has written you'll benefit from it. And if the entire ummah has gathered to harm you with anything, they would never harm you with anything except that Allah has written upon you. رُفِعَ الْقَلَمْ وَجَفَّتِ الصُّحُفِ. The pen has been elevated and the sheets or the pages have dried. Okay. So, many of the scholars actually tell you that this is the core of the hadith. And everything above it that was mentioned is the fruit of this aspect. Because if you know that nothing in the world you can ever get except if Allah wants it, and nothing in the world bad can happen to you except if Allah has written it, does it mean that you would only ask Allah? Yes? Or should we ask our neighbors? Come on, guys. You would ask Allah. You seek the help from? Is that right? You always worship only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In addition to that hadith, the Prophet ﷺ had mentioned, وَإِنَّ النَّصْرَ مَعَ الصَّبْرِ. Verily victory comes with patience. Now this holds true in anything we want in our lives. Whether to conquer our own negative aspects perhaps. We all have things that we struggle against. But victory over what we're struggling with will never be attained except with patience. And this requires asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he said, وَأَنَّ الْفَرَجَ مَعَ الْكَرْبِ, that relief accompanies affliction, and ease, وَأَنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا, that ease accompanies hardship. But once again, if you understand these things, it gives you beautiful hope and dependence on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, if you completely depend on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, once again, go back to the beginning of the hadith, interpersonal skills, you only worry about pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your time of ease. You only ask Allah and worship Allah. All those are beautiful dependent skills. You protect the right of Allah. It brings out the proper interpersonal skills we have with the creation, because we are doing everything only to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.